On to the NFC West and a division that I'm going to call the haves and the have-nots, because here you have two of the conference's true contenders, two teams that I expect to make a lot of noise and potentially make a run late in the postseason. And then, you know, two teams who maybe next year, guys, maybe we'll see. I don't know. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's lead this off where we have to with the biggest bully on the block, the San Francisco 49ers. The team that seems to be a fixture deep in the NFC playoffs. And that's the most amazing part about it, is it's the only true contender in the NFL that doesn't have a capital G guy at quarterback. No offense to Brock Purdy. He was amazing last year. He stepped in for Jimmy Garoppolo and performed admirably. I'm not going to call him that dirty phrase that signifies he was drafted last in the NFL draft. That's rude. He's played way better than that. But the problem is he's still only started 8 games. And oh, by the way, he's dealt with an injury to his throwing arm that knocked him out of the NFC Championship game. Really, we do this a lot in NFL media, but I just think it bears repeating. The 49ers are a favorite to play in Super Bowl 58, and their quarterback has not been able to throw much in the offseason. And oh, by the way, he's a second-year player who's started 8 career games. Think about what that means. To paraphrase my friend Emmanuel Acho, they got dogs. Fred Warner, dog. Deebo Samuel, dog. Trent Williams, dog. Brandon Ayuk, dog. Dre Greenlaw, dog. Am I forgetting anybody? Oh, Nick Bosa, dog. By the way, a really rich dog. Talk about striking gold. 5 years, $170 million. This team has everything you could want, and not to put too much pressure on Mr. Purdy, but it's all going to come down to how well he plays. I didn't even mention George Kittle. I did that whole bit right there, and I forgot one of the best tight ends in the NFL. It's unfathomable how much talent these guys have. And that's why I can't wait to see how this goes. It honestly reminds me of the team that beat San Francisco in the NFC Championship game last year, Philadelphia. Well, we all know Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate now. That certainly wasn't the case in August and September of last year. I knew they were going to play the music for this, and I don't care. Like I said, 2 of the teams in this division aren't very good anyway, so I'm just going to use this time to say I can't wait to see if Brock Purdy rises to the occasion, and not to put too much pressure on him, but there should be, because we know this team is capable of being close to the Super Bowl. It seems like they do it every year. Brock Purdy, I can't wait to see it starting Sunday with the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, I'm sorry. That took a little bit of time, but it's okay. Like I said, the Niners are worth it. We'll jump on to the Seattle Seahawks, a team that I can't wait to talk about. The other, for my money, the other contender that I mentioned in this division. And yes, I said contender because my thesis here is that we're a little bit asleep on the Seattle Seahawks, and I'd love to know if we should be. I think that goes back to the fact that the Seahawks can't seem to get past the 49ers. They went 0-3 against their rivals from San Francisco last year. Kind of got trounced in the playoffs, if you remember. But look at Seattle's roster. Like, if you believe in Geno Smith, which I do, absolutely took the league by storm last year, deserved every bit of his Pro Bowl nomination. All they did was add to what's around him. You get Jackson Smith and Jigba in the first round of the NFL draft. You draft Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA to complement Kenny Walker, who had a hell of a rookie season in his own right. So now we've got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Jackson Smith and Jigba, 2 great running backs. Geno Smith, Charles Cross, and Abe Lucas looked like beasts in their rookie years. Yeah, John Schneider, GM of the Seahawks, turns out you can flip your fortunes really quick if you draft your ass off. This Seahawks offense looks fantastic. I think they're going to be able to score points against just about anybody. And the defense is coming along as well. You draft a guy like Devin Witherspoon, top 5 in the NFL draft. You're getting Jamal Adams back healthy. Hopefully he can give you a full season for what seems like the first time since you traded for him. I'm not ready to tell you right now that I think the Seahawks are going to win the division, but I absolutely think they have a chance. I think we talk so much about the Eagles, Cowboys, and Niners, and rightfully so. But if you're thinking about it heading into the season, who's the 4th best team in the NFC? I'm here to tell you that I think it's the Seattle Seahawks. I can't wait to see them prove me right. Now we come to we'll call it the less fun part of the division preview. Look, I mean, every team in the league has the potential to prove me wrong. The Seahawks just did it last year. If we were doing this podcast last year, I would have said something similar about Seattle. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. The LA Rams absolutely have the potential to surprise me, but I just don't see it, y'all. I really don't. This feels like a team that knows it's in for a hard year, shedding some contracts, trying to move on from that Super Bowl. And I'll be honest with you. I sat here in May and June and I said, well, the Rams have Aaron Donald. They have Matthew Stafford. They have Cooper Kupp. That's a hell of a trio that can take you a hell of a long way. Like if the best defender in football, a Super Bowl winning veteran quarterback, and a Super Bowl MVP receiver, like if they all click, maybe they could drag the Rams to a better record than we're giving them credit for. But then you get to September and Cooper Kupp is dealing with an injury. It seems like it's going to be a prolonged injury. Matthew Stafford, from the rumors and the reports, doesn't seem like he's connecting that well with his teammates. I got nothing bad to say about Aaron Donald. Put him in the Hall of Fame today. The problem is he's surrounded by rookies. Jalen Ramsey's not there anymore. Leonard Floyd's long gone. Like, who's helping these guys? And God forbid if something happens to them, who's going to step up? I just don't see it. I think we're going to be learning a lot of new names in Los Angeles this year. And if the Rams can even get 3 or 4 quality contributors out of all these young guys, it will have been a successful season. We're doing this all year, so I'll be here to eat my words if I'm wrong. But I just think the Rams are going to take some licks as they try to get some guys experience this year. It's a perfect segue. Honestly, most of what I just said could apply to the Arizona Cardinals, our final team in this division, minus the proven veterans. Who's the proven player? Yeah, if you're watching us, we're sitting here on the set at our gorgeous studio. We've got a huge photo of Kyler Murray on the set. When's he going to play? The identity of the Arizona Cardinals is recovering from an ACL tear. He's not eligible to play for at least the first month of the season. The storyline around the Arizona Cardinals right now is whether Kyler's even going to be their quarterback. And it's not far-fetched. Yes, I know his contract is huge. I'm here to tell you, and we can get into this as the year goes on, it can be shockingly easy to move on from a big quarterback contract. So we don't even know if Kyler's the quarterback in Arizona in 2024. If USC's Caleb Williams or North Carolina's Drake May is available next spring and the Cardinals are drafting where I think they'll be drafting, Kyler Murray's contract is not going to be an issue. It's something to watch this season. And Cardinals fans, I would probably be watching a lot of college football as we move through this fall. Like I said, it's the time of year where there should be optimism for everybody, and somebody's bound to make us all look dumb. If that team is the Arizona Cardinals, I don't know. I don't want to make a bet that I then have to fulfill, because I could, I would say I'd eat my shoe, but that could be really bad television, really bad podcast. I'm not going to do that, but I don't see the Arizona Cardinals competing this year. If anything, you could say they're fighting for the number 1 pick, and we haven't even played a game. You're talking about Josh Dobbs or a rookie in Clayton Tune starting week 1 against the Commanders. Jonathan Gannon, first-year head coach in Arizona. Prayers up for you, buddy. I hope it actually happens better than it looks, because I think this is the team with the least amount to be hopeful about for the 2023 season. I'm sorry to say it, but it's just what it is. Moving on to the prediction. If you're not paying attention, I think there's only 2 teams that it could be. It's San Francisco or Seattle. In the interest of being different, I'll be honest. The Niners have run things for the last 3 or 4 years, but man, I'm high on this Seahawks team. I really am. And when you consider I don't want to say uncertainty, but when you consider what Brock Purdy is facing coming back from an injury and a whole league that has tape on him, I don't want to say the Niners are going to struggle, but I definitely think it's going to be a challenge. And if they're fighting for their lives, why not have the Seattle Seahawks sneak up? I feel good about damn near everything about this team. I think the Seahawks have a legitimate chance to make some real noise in the NFC this year.